Hello everyone and welcome to today's video. Today I'm going over the final election market prediction for the 2024 US Senate map, and one I think will be very interesting. I'm going to look at what the current odds are on Polymarket for the respective Senate races and assign them to the 2024 US Senate map to see which party ends up winning control of the US Senate. So for example, I'll start with the state of Maryland. The state of Maryland right now is 91% for Angela Brooks to win, 9% for Larry Hogan to win. That is over the 90% threshold. That would be enough to put it into the safe Democratic column. Maryland goes safe Democratic. Now we're going to do the state of Florida. Actually, no, we're going to do the state of Nebraska first, actually, because Nebraska is a little bit more interesting. Deb Fischer, the Republican incumbent, is 84%, and the independent, Dan Osborne, has 15%. So this is one I'm actually going to most likely, based on these, put into the likely Republican column. And before I move on, I just want to do real quick, I just want to show you the polling data for the state of Maryland, where also Brooks leads over Hogan by 11.3%. I wanted to show this before moving on. I also wanted to show the Nebraska polling data as well, where right now Fischer only has a 7-point lead in one poll. New York Times has her only leading by 2, so a very close race. And still, that would be a likely Republican win in Nebraska, according to the Polymarket odds that has Deb Fischer 84, Dan Osborne at 15. So I'll put Nebraska in the likely Republican column. Now we'll move to the state of Florida, where Florida in its Senate race, Rick Scott has 91%, Debbie Mercarsol-Powell, the Democratic candidate, has 9% to win the state. And the polls right now for Florida, Rick Scott's only up by 4.8%. So it's only a 4.8% lead, which would be actually a lean margin on the map according to the polls. But it is also worth noting he is in the ballot at the same time as Donald Trump, who was expected to win Florida by at least 6% on election night. So, but still, Polymarket 91-19, that is a safe state for Rick Scott. Florida safe for the Republicans. Now we're going to look at the state of Texas, where Senator Ted Cruz is up for re-election. This is an 81-19 lead for Ted Cruz over Colin Allred, actually getting relatively close compared to where it was a few weeks ago. The polls for this race right now do show only a 4.1% lead for Ted Cruz in the state of Texas. Definitely a very competitive race. 4.1% lead for Cruz. The Polymarket odds having it at 81-19. That would put the race as a likely Republican win. Looking now at the state of Arizona. Arizona, Ruben Gallego has 73%. Kari Lake has 27%. That would be a likely Democratic margin of victory, where 60 and under would be considered, I believe it's tilt, 60 to 70 would be considered lean, and 73 to 80 or 85 would be likely. 73 for Gallego, Lake for 27. Looking at the polling data in the state of Arizona, right now Gallego has a lead of 3.9%. Atlas Intel does have Lake +1 in the most recent poll, but all the other polls do have Gallego up by 4 points or more. This would be a likely lean Democratic call according to the polls, but according to Polymarket, this would go into the likely Democratic column. Now we're going to look at the state of Nevada. Democratic incumbent Jackie Rosen has 78%. Republican Sam Brown has 22%. So under 80%, so it's not safe Democratic, but it is over, or under 90%, excuse me, so it's not safe, but it is over the 70% and 60%, so it's not going to be lean either. This would likely go in the likely Democratic column. Looking at the polling data for the state of Nevada, this is a 4.2% lead for Jackie Rosen over Sam Brown, 48% to 43.8. Definitely looks like Rosen is favored to win this race right now, barring a election day miss in terms of the polling. Rosen's favored to lead here, and 78-22, that would put the state of Nevada into the likely Democratic column. Democrats have 45 seats, Republicans have 50. Now we'll go to the state of Montana, where right now Republican candidate Tim Sheehy has 84%. John Tester, the Democratic incumbent senator, has 16%. This would be a flip if Sheehy were to win this race. According to the polls right now, Sheehy is favored to win it with a lead of 6.5% in the polls over John Tester at this moment in time. That would be a likely Republican call at the map level. And on Polymarket, being at 84-16, still under 90, that would also be a likely win for the Republicans for Tim Sheehy. Republicans now have 51, Democrats have 45. Now we're going to look at the state of Wisconsin on the Polymarket site, where Wisconsin is 65-35 for Tammy Baldwin over Eric Hovde. This is getting very, very close on the polling level, and the Polymarket level, it seems to be getting close as well, 65-35. The polls in the state of Wisconsin right now, Baldwin leads Hovde by 0.6%, very, very close after some polls came out. Atlas Intel showing it a tie, Insider Advantage has Hovde up 1, CNN has Baldwin up 2, USA Today has Baldwin +2, Emerson has it tied. Very, very close race, Marquette +2, Quinnipiac +1, super, super close. It would be a tilt column on the polling map. Polymarket 65-35, under 70, above 60. That would be a lean designation for Tammy Baldwin for the Democrats. 46 for the Democrats, Republicans have 51. Now we're going to look at the state of Michigan, where Lisa Slotkin has 73%, Mike Rogers, the Republican, has 27%. Over the 70% margin, that would be a likely Democratic win, according to the Polymarket. Looking at the polls really quick in Michigan, Michigan currently has a 3.1% lead for Slotkin over Mike Rogers at 3.1%. That would be a lean Democratic call. Polymarket and its odds have it as likely Democratic. 47 for the Democrats, 51 for the Republicans. Now we're going to go to the state of Ohio, one of the closest Senate races in the United States. Right now, Bernie Moreno has a 60% lead over Democratic incumbent Senator Sherrod Brown, 60-40, very, very close, just borderline between tilt and lean, but this would be in the tilt column at 60 and 40, very, very close. Looking at the polls right now in the state of Ohio, very, very close race, a 1-point lead for Sherrod Brown over Bernie Moreno right now. However, he is going to be running on the same time as Donald Trump, which I think Polymarket is expecting it to give a boost for Moreno having Trump on the ballot at the same time. Super close, 60-40. That would be just enough to put the state of Ohio into the tilt Bernie Moreno column and tilt Republican column. Super close there. Now we're going to look at the state of Pennsylvania, the final Senate race on Polymarket to go over. It's 71-29 for Casey over McCormick. Just by 1% is Pennsylvania avoiding the lean column and going into the likely Democratic column. Super, super close, but by that 1% difference does put Pennsylvania in likely Democratic. Looking at the polls in the state of Pennsylvania, Pennsylvania currently has Bob Casey favored to win, or leading, over Dave McCormick by 2.6%. This is after some polls came out in the last few days that have given Casey a little bit of a boost, and McCormick has gone down a little bit, giving him a 2.6% lead. And one more time, look at the odds, 71-29. This would put the state of Pennsylvania into the likely Democratic column. So based on the Polymarket election odds as of today, this video, Republicans are currently favored to win 52 Senate seats. Democrats are currently favored to win 48. This is a very, very interesting video in my mind to do because this is not something I usually do. Most of the time I'm doing videos about the current polls and hypothetical scenarios. Election markets is not something I usually do a ton of videos on, so I thought this was a very fun idea to do just a few days before the election. Be interesting to come back to this video and see how it looks after Election Day and how close the Polymarket site gets to getting this correct. But Republicans have 52, Democrats 48, with very, very close races being decided in Ohio and Wisconsin. That'll do it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to give this video a like, click subscribe, and share with your friends and family. In the meantime, that's all I have for you today. Thank you for watching. That will do it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please remember to give it a like. And if you really liked it, please remember to click the subscribe button and make sure you turn post notifications on so you always get notified when I post a new video. That way you never miss one. Also, please remember to share this video with your friends and family if you really, really, really like the video. And remember to stay tuned because I'll be posting at least one video every single day leading up until Election Day. So I'd really appreciate it if you keep coming back and watching those videos. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in a future video.